A little after 7 a.m. on the morning of April 15th, 2007, three men launched a 35-foot white catamaran called the Kaz II from a marina in northeastern Australia. The captain of the Kaz II was 56-year-old Des Batten, and the two friends that Des was bringing with him on this trip were Jim Tunstead, who was 63 years old, and Jim's brother, Peter Tunstead, who was 69 years old. All three of the men had spent a lot of time plotting their actual course they'd be going on, which was from this marina on the northeastern side of Australia to Perth, which was their final destination and where all three men lived. In total, this trip was supposed to take 8 weeks. On April 15th, 2007, shortly after the three men had launched their boat and kicked off this big trip, Peter's wife would call him. It seemed very much like this trip was going as well as it could be so far. Des, who was the captain of the Kaz II, stressed that at no point should they be sailing into open water. They needed to stay close to shore the whole time just because it was safer. And so when Jim began filming a video around 10 a.m., you can clearly see the shore in the background of this video. But a couple of hours after Jim had shot that video, a woman named Isabelle Wheeler, she was fishing in an area called Champagne Bay when she looked out into the water and she saw the Kaz II. She saw it make a quick 90-degree turn and began sailing out towards the open ocean. The next day, two more people would spot the Kaz II in the exact same spot that Isabelle had seen it the day before. Then one more day after that, there were these fishermen that were out in their boats. They saw the Kaz II from a distance navigating its way fairly close to shore in an area that these fishermen knew was full of coral reefs. The sail of the Kaz II was totally ripped to shreds. But the pilot of the ship looked so in control as he's navigating his way through the coral reefs that the fishermen thought, okay, he knows what he's doing, so, leave him alone. It wasn't until the next day that anybody realized there was an issue with the crew of the Kaz II. The Marine police got some information about the boat, and the police would get in touch with all of their families, and they would all tell police that besides Peter's wife, who talked to Peter on that morning they left, no one had heard from any of the men. And so a search was launched to find the Kaz II. And 48 hours later, a rescue helicopter spotted the Kaz II. A rescue officer on board the rescue helicopter named Corey Benson was lowered by a rope where he was dropped into the water, and then Corey swam by himself over to the Kaz II and he climbed up the side of the boat and he stepped onto the deck. When Corey actually got to the front of the boat where the captain would stand, he saw the engine was actually still on. He turned and he got to the door that led to the cabin and he opened it up. Des, Peter, and Jim were not on this ship. Des, Jim, and Peter were never found. And so we have no idea what actually happened to them. And so unfortunately, this whole thing is just one big mystery that has yet to be solved.